Who are you when you're alone? Hey guys, it's John sitting out here on the back deck. It is a gorgeous day this morning. This afternoon they're calling for thunderstorms here in the early part of March. And yes, it is March. I know this video is coming out in April, but I wanted to make sure you knew that it was March when I recorded this. It is stunning today. I'm out here at 70 degrees almost. And I wanted to hop on because I was watching a video this morning that was about a man's health journey, going from over 400 pounds to 175 and a runner. But there was one quote that he said in the video that really stood out to me. And it hit me good because it was one of those situations where I realized this is a deep topic. The thing that he said was, the question he asked was, who are you when no one else is around? Who are you when no one else is around? You know, in our lives, we tend to give ourselves definitions or identities based on the people that are around us. To our children, we're mom or dad. To our bosses, we're the employee. You know, to people in society in general, in the grocery store, sometimes it's putting on the identity of a perfect life. So we have that appearance. We put on a mask depending on who's around us. Question really becomes is, when no one's around you, who are you? Are you a good person? Are you a vulnerable person? Are you a damaged person? Are you a happy person? Are you a joyful person? Do you not like being alone because you're afraid of looking at your own identity? Do you sit in your home and procrastinate because of the identity of what would happen if you did certain things? Do you feel frozen? You know, fear is the great paralyzer. When we get into fear, we're afraid to do things. And I tend to believe that all fears can be traced back to a single fear, the fear of not being loved in some form. And when we look at those identities that we create for various people, we're living up to certain expectations. And we're wanting love from those people. That's why we are creating these identities for the individual people. But it's those times when we're alone, when you really stand out. I remember many years ago, I was working at a Renaissance festival in Georgia. And I was part of the royal court. This was before I even did my show. And we were walking, at the end of the day, we were walking off site. And one of the rules of a stage character was, while you were on site, inside the fair site, you were in character, period. And I remember walking at the end of the day, the fair was closed, and we were walking to the back of the site, and all of us were kind of like walking in formation, totally out of character. And we looked over and we saw the guy playing the village idiot. And he was walking to the exit just like we were. But halfway across the field, he stopped and he ran over and he started searching through a trash can, right? And it wasn't because he needed something with a trash can. He was being in character. He was the idiot, right? And so he stayed in that character. That's who his character was when no one was looking. The thing is in life is if you're fully committed to living a joyful life, living a happy life, that should absolutely carry into the time when you're alone. You should be joyful. You should be loving. You should be loving your life. You shouldn't be afraid to be alone because you like who you are when you're alone. And when you're finding that you're not liking yourself when you're alone, then it's a matter of, okay, whose love am I needing that I have to be with someone to draw in their love, to express, to do the identity that will receive love from them. And so it comes back to the idea of, do you love yourself equally? Do you love yourself equally, or are you trying to live into somebody else's identity, or creating a definition of self that will get love from someone else? Love yourself equally. And it's in that video that I saw of the man who lost all the weight and got his health back. One of the things that was so interesting was he says, There were days when it was hard and I was out running and doing all this stuff, but I liked that I was doing it. I liked that I was being that healthy person who was running on the days when no one else is around and just doing it. Because the person who you are when you're alone is the identity of you. It's your authentic self. Because when you're alone, you get to exhale. And then you have to realize that when you weren't alone, you weren't. You were living up to the expectations of others. And the true test of your life is, are you happy when you're alone? Are you joyful when you're alone? And when you're looking at your world, if you're living into your authentic self, both in private and in public, the people who are not in alignment with your personal authentic self will fade from your life. But the people who are will surround your life. And what is that called? That's called unconditional love. People who will love you without a condition, will surround your life because you have chosen to be authentic in all things, to be authentic in all moments of your life, even when you're alone. COVID hit, and it was a beautiful time for me. COVID, for a lot of people who are suffering through COVID, it was a beautiful time for me because I got the chance to really spend time with myself and learn who I was, what I did. COVID itself was the thing that brought me back out into the spiritual work that I was doing before, because I realized I wasn't being my authentic self before. I was in the corporate world, to make a living, yes, but I also to share my spiritual message covertly. But I'm like, well, now that COVID hit and that career kind of fizzled, it was the greatest thing that could have possibly happened to me. The greatest thing that could have possibly happened to me, because I came to understand who I was. I came to understand that my authentic self was the important self. And I started putting myself out there completely fearlessly and authentically. And being in authentic self, I got surrounded by this loving community that's here talking to me. This wonderful people, these interviews and things started showing up in my life because I came back to my authentic self. I came back to my authentic self. And by coming back to my authentic self, I like myself when I'm alone. My son comes to visit from college, and then he doesn't come back. He comes back every other week. He comes back to visit. Those 2 weeks in between, I'm alone, and I love it. And I decorate my house. I work on my vehicles. I clean my yard. I do my stuff, and I don't, in any way, shape, or form, worry about what somebody else is going to think. And when you come to that space of really liking yourself, even when you're alone, you're going to start to see people surround you who will like you even when you're alone, because they'll know who you are and they'll think of you fondly. They'll think of you with love and respect. And I think it's important for us to realize that when we're alone, that's who we really are. That's the place where we fully exhale. That's the place where we're not holding fear in our bodies. That's the place where we're not trying to get somebody else's love. That's the place where we have to love ourselves. And in loving ourselves, sometimes it's a journey, because we have to realize what we're already thinking about ourselves. And I just wanted to hop out here on this number one beautiful morning before the rain hits, and I wanted to come out here and just have this conversation, because after I saw that this morning, I really wanted to share this conversation with you, because I want you to think about those moments when you're alone. Who are you? Who are you when you're alone? And do you like yourself? It's a question you have to ask yourself. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.